Welcome to Unscripted Pivots. I am your host, Danielle Sprouls, and I am very excited about our guest today. Welcome, Alexandra Robinson.
Hello,
Welcome.
Danielle. Super happy to be here.
Okay, let's cut to it right now. I'm not going to call you Alexandra Robinson for
That's
everybody
not
that
my name
knows
to you.
out there. I call her Ed. I call Alex R. Okay, she's a good friend. And when I came to California in 20, I met her and her bestie at the time. I mean, literally, when I say bestie, they were Siamese twins, and they were both named Alex. So I had to give one of them a last initial, and it stuck. And you're a good friend who I also, I love dearly. I mean, she has since moved out of state, but that R has to stay. It's like your
Alex
nickname.
R stuck.
I just did, and I just love it. And John refuses to change it either. So just, you know what? I am just coming off of a 4-part series where I was talking about confidence. I was talking about curiosity. I was talking about connection, and I was talking about courage. And those 4 C words are really what are so necessary to have a successful pivot in a woman's life, in anybody's life, really. And when I think of those 4 C's, I think of you. I just think of you. And I want to start with, it's absolutely a compliment. And I don't give them out easily. I give them out sincerely. I want to talk about connection. So you are really in Orange County, probably all of California. You're a native. You are like the ultimate connector. Everybody knows you as, I don't want to even just diminish it by saying you're a social butterfly. You're truly a connector of people in the personal and professional space. And when I came to the state, you were that for me. And so I'm eternally grateful for you, welcoming me into a community that has become very meaningful to us and is now essentially home.
Definitely.
Just for the guests to know, she is she works at a private investment and wealth management firm, and she works in client advisory services. She just recently got her master's. I mean, really, I can't believe this is why you're on the show, because I can't believe all the education that you have recently accomplished. I want you to tell us a little bit about this, what you just did and where you are right now.
Well, I love the 4 C's. It's funny. I'm thinking so seriously about each of them. And curiosity maybe isn't something that comes to mind, but connection, confidence, and I was thinking community. But what was the other that you said?
Courage. Oh, sister, you have buckets of courage. I mean, I'm not saying it's always there, but it always comes back.
Well, I definitely didn't grow up having self-confidence. I don't even think of myself as having self-confidence right now, but I look at what I've done recently, and that is because of the community around me, and you guys build me up. And, when I don't feel good in myself, I look to you and you remind me of what I've done, and hey, you can do this, and you give me the courage, And with that, I can look in the mirror today and I can see that I should be a confident person, and it's like you just fake it till you make it. And I am getting more confident every day. It's funny, I went through that master's program that you talked about. I recently, in COVID, I started going to Purdue online, and I got my organizational master's in psychology, and I didn't think much of it, like I had a little dinner, which you came to celebrate.
I did.
Pretty cool. And I actually got to walk in a ceremony about 3 months ago, and that was 6 months after I had finished. But when I went and I walked at that ceremony, it became real, and it was like, I think that was, talk about a pivotal moment. I don't know what it was, but everything has changed for me in the last few months. I just feel like, you know what? You can do anything. You just take it off in small bites. And I'm definitely starting to have that confidence that you all think I should have. And it's becoming more and more real. Like I'm not faking it as much. So
let's be honest. Confidence can be a fleeting thing. We don't wake up every day going, oh yeah, we're going to take on the world. And occasionally we lose it and we start to question ourselves. And this is when I say, let's lean in and borrow some from our sisters. I mean, in any given day, pick up that phone or you'll go out to lunch, do something and talk about it. And, you can revisit it. But you are essentially a confident person. You have accomplished so much. And when you say you didn't think much of it, I mean, really, you went into higher education. And I know, and I'm like you, Alex R. I wasn't like the fabulous student in high school doing that. No. I was a social, let's go have fun.
I had to go through interviews to get them to waive the GPA because I had a 2. I didn't even know that, but I had a 2 out of college. Like, well, at least I graduated, so that's good from undergrad, And I just got a 3 out of my master's program. And it's like, I think what it just hit me is it's not that I can feel the confidence so much, but I have self-esteem today. And that is because, I've learned you do esteemable acts and that's something you build. And with that, I mean, confidence is, a parallel to it. So I definitely have a self-esteem because I can look and it's factual information. Like, dude, I got my degree. It's on my wall. That's not something I just went and bought off of Amazon. And I think that's given me a lot of courage to take some more leaps and kind of see where I can go with it. It's opened up some paths that are really exciting. And now it's like, oh, I like learning. I'm not the same person I was 20 years ago when I was in college. Let's be real.
No, you are woke. You are woke. You and I, we ran into each other just a couple days ago, and you were asking me about being certified in executive coaching. And the next thing out of your mouth is like, I'm looking into that too. It's like we get on fire, we tap into something, and we just have this like insatiable appetite to do more, to learn more, and to expand and to grow. I want to bring you back a little bit. So like the high school, maybe you weren't really focusing. I wasn't focusing either. Were you at that time thinking, was your family business, because you're a single child, you're an only child, and you were raised in a family business. Let's touch on that for a moment. And when did you think you were not going to do that? And like, let's chat about that because it's really interesting.
I love my history. It's very colorful. And I wouldn't even say that I'm a social butterfly for Orange County, but I have the Newport Beach bubble. I went to Chapman University, which is in Orange. So that's like an extension of Newport. It's 7 miles out. I've literally lived in the same place my entire life. So it would not be okay if I didn't know a lot of people.
Sure.
Everything has been in Newport. And so to begin with, not only the only child, I'm the only grandchild. So that being said, my grandmother's Italian, moved here and opened a restaurant on Balboa Island in 19. And my mom was waitressing, and in the late 60s, my dad was a customer visiting from England.
Oh, here comes a love story.
Get married. And basically, I'm just giving you that is my family history. It's the restaurant business. And so for 40 years, my mom and dad ran that restaurant. And I always thought I was going to take it over. I did end up opening my own catering business, and I'd use their kitchen when they weren't open because they were only an evening business.
Well, wait. Let's not blow through that. Okay. You opened up your own catering business. No. I mean, that's a big deal. So you were really, at that point, really even demonstrating some confidence, lots of it, and entrepreneurial spirit, because you were going to go.
Entrepreneurial
that's
spirit.
Called Posh, right? Posh Events. What was that called?
Yeah, Posh Events.
Okay.
Posh Events. I had that for 13 years.
I
did really well with it.
When you did that? Yeah, dial it back. I want to know.
I started
how old
it at 21.
You?
So I was 21, and it was because I was working in a real estate firm doing commercial real estate. And one of the guys on my team was in remission from leukemia. And I wanted to raise money for him. I also wanted to have a Christmas party, but had no money to plan a Christmas party. So I feel like I invented the idea of a fundraiser, like a gala. Clearly, I didn't invent that. But in my head, it was how I could have a party and not pay for it and have a good cause.
This is so you, Alexandra. This is so you. You're actually putting something together, but you're doing it with a charitable, philanthropic, point of view. You wanted to help somebody else. There's another C. There's a C that didn't make the first podcast. Okay. Compassion. Yeah. You're all that. You really, really are.
I do.
So
I do love that part of it. Yeah.
So you threw this thing on. So 13 years. Give us a little synopsis of what that journey was like and why it even ended.
Well, so I did my first fundraiser at the Balboa Bay Club, and I think it was 60 people, and we raised like 5,000 or something. Yeah, I'm actually going to be hosting another event there later this year.
You're still involved in all this.
I'm kind of dabbling back into it because it's a passion. That's just, I love doing charitable work. Does it pay the bills? It probably could, but... Okay, so my story. I'll backtrack to what you had asked.
Yes.
I started doing Leukemia and Lymphoma Society stuff. I did 3 different events, raising money each year. I was still doing real estate, and then it kind of took a life of its own. And I started Posh Events, and then I started doing golf tournaments for the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. I did those at Pelican Hill, and that was awesome. And I got to tap into the people that I'd met doing real estate, and so I'd get people to sponsor a hole or whatever. And
what a great intersection of interest.
Perfect.
Yes.
And that's where I think the connection part is so huge to me, because I truly believe, you have to use your network, but you have to use it respectfully. And I never even think of it as using it, because I just love connecting people, because who knows how you may be able to help this person. In karma, I think it'll all come back, and that first golf tournament was so much fun. Yeah,
were you golfing yet? Because
I was golfing. I was golfing. And
wait, is this the story where you got the personalized clubs or that bag that I see you with? Oh, this is great. Tell us about that.
Well, there was a handsome sponsor, and so I kind of cozied up to him, and happened to get a set of custom graphite clubs with a carrying Hugo Boss case. I'm not complaining. I got some perks for sure.
Yes, that's well deserved.
No, thank you. But that was one of our sponsors who was doing a really cool, it was a simulator that they set up. And I just went out there and did it. And they're like, oh, you can actually golf. I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Sure.
Well,
Okay. And
I've
so,
seen you hit the club. I mean, you have a long drive for sure. No, you're very, very good at it. So you're
thank you.
doing a lot of charitable events and a lot of, and then, you're still doing that today. I mean, we can't have a birthday party in Orange County without, in your friendship circle going, hey, could you help me put on something? You know what I mean? You're very gratuitous in that way, and you're really, really good at what you do. But why did it come to an end? Like, what was going on? Just loosely, like, when
So,
did it lose its, like,
well,
energy or interest?
I would say, gosh, so I'm 41 now, and probably around the time I was 32, 33, I'd gotten pretty big. I was doing a lot of corporate events for big name companies, and I would do their client retention programs. I was doing some those high-rise apartments, I was doing their resident appreciation events, stuff like that. And again, doing well and then making a little bit of money with it. I was probably partying a little bit too hard, probably, not saving the profits that I should have been. But I realized that I was getting big enough. I needed to have like a kitchen of my own. I wanted to start my own restaurant. I wanted to really take it to the next level.
You had to scale it, if you were
I
going to
had to
continue.
scale it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my parents still owned the restaurant at that time. And I didn't see retirement for them coming up anytime soon. And I also thought that I just took for granted I was going to get the restaurant. I mean, talk about entitled. Oh my gosh. It was never a conversation had. I just thought I would get it.
Well, as an only child and growing up in that space, I mean, you pretty much, you told me you used to be carried around like a purse when you were like, they were always working because the restaurant business is extremely demanding. People know that. I mean, that really
I started
takes
seating
over your life.
tables at 5 years old. I took my first, I remember,
Cute
and
as a button, I'm sure.
I skipped back from the table, and my parents were like, okay, Alex, you can't skip, But what happened was I think with the whole partying thing and where I go with that kind of was the demise of it. But I wasn't very business savvy. I was just really go by the flight of my pants type of thing. And I purchased a business. I bought something on Balboa Island. It was once a sushi place. It's now a hot dog place. But it was a little 8-person restaurant that had a huge kitchen in the back. So it was something that I was going to be able to work on my own if I wanted to keep the restaurant open. What I was going to do is kind of like the best of Newport. I was going to have baguettes from Stacey Bone, tuna from, Bear Flag Fish Company.
That sounds like a great niche. I could see why that would be a vision. Yeah.
And I was going to work with the ferry right there and have the junior lifeguards order on the other side and pick it up on their way off the island. It was a great idea. And again, the kitchen was big enough that I would run all my catering out of it, and then I could just hire someone minimum wage to run the front. Well, I didn't want to pay the full price. I was a negotiator. And I said, let me just buy this out of escrow. Okay, I'm going to buy this out of escrow. I'm going to spend $30,000 on your business. They wanted 70. They were desperate though. So I said, I'll give you 30. I'll give you 25 cash and we'll put 5,000 in escrow just for your purposes of selling the business. Well, great. Did that. My 25 is gone. Escrow's taking a while. So I'm not really understanding what's going on, but I am buying the minivan, the Ford Transit for my catering business.
You're moving forward systematically.
I'm moving forward. I completely redid the interior. I updated some of the commercial equipment. I did the vents, had the design, had the business name, had everything. And finally, 2 months after this, so I'd done some work. It was right after Halloween. It was the beginning of November in I get a call from the landlord, and he wants me to sign my lease because it's ready to go. And the lease was not what the past owner had told me that it was going to be. It was, about 10% higher, 15% higher, and it was adjustable. Well,
so that was going to be floating all over the place. You thought
not
this
going
is
to work.
No,
and it scared me. And the one investor that I had that was kind of helping with any last minute expenses that came up with like the inventory to bring on that first chunk of food to serve. She's like, if this is going to throw you off, then you are way too close to being in the negative from the get-go. Like, I don't feel good. I can't give you any more. And so I lost that 25 plus all that I had all that I had put into the business, which was probably another 20 or 30. And then I had this Ford Transit. So now I'm driving a Ford Transit. I have no restaurant. I've got all this equipment. And then my parents sell the restaurant.
Okay. So wait, let's okay. So yeah. Here's a lot of pivots, Alex. Okay, there's a lot of pivots going on, and a lot of challenges that'll just could easily take you down. I have a question. Why were you not working actively participating in the day-to-day with your parents' restaurant, especially with thinking maybe I might inherit this. I should be close to it. It's a family brand, right? And then bring your kind of persona into it.
I think I tried. I worked with my dad quite a bit with city council. I was on their restaurant association Association. I was on the board of directors for that. And I definitely did as much as I could with the restaurant. And I served as a waitress and I helped when they were out of town and I would do whatever they needed. They needed to see that I could cover all aspects of the business. So I kind of had to prove myself because I couldn't actually step in and run the restaurant. I mean, my dad was doing that full time and my mom did a lot of the recipes and stuff on that side of it. So I had to show that I could do it. I could make my own recipes. I could do my own restaurant. I could have my own business. And, I showed them that I could, even though that didn't work out. Something really cool came of that because I wasn't just going to give up. Because I figured, well, I bought the equipment that was in this little restaurant I built. I took it all out, put it in storage, and I sent a message to everyone that I knew. And I just said, I've got a bunch of equipment. I want to open a restaurant. Come and get me if you want to use me, or just come buy my equipment, please. And there was somebody then that was a new owner to what used to be what was it? Well, it's now the Park Avenue Cafe. No, it was the Park Avenue Cafe down by the ferry, and now it's 5. And so I went in. And they took me and I was the sweat equity and he was all the money. And we redesigned that place, which the kitchen, I can't go in there. It's funny. I can go into my parents' old restaurant and it's wonderful. Like it's so far from anything that it was when they owned it that it's not sentimental, and it's a cool restaurant. So it's neat to see what they've done with it. I can't go into this other place that I helped design because like that was my baby.
You imprinted it, right?
I imprinted it. It was my vision.
Yeah.
It was my future. And then at the last minute, I kind of pulled something else that wasn't that smart. I freaked out on my partner because he wanted to change the name. And I liked the name that we had planned and he wanted to name it like his first name.
Okay. Well, that sounds proprietary. I don't know that I would like that if I was going to be a partner.
I mean, I'm the one running it. You don't even know anyone on Balboa Island.
Wait, what was the name? What was the name before he wanted to change it?
So it was the Park Avenue Cafe.
So it was called the Park Avenue Cafe, and he wanted to turn it into his own name.
So
and then
let's just say Joe's.
We'll just be generic. Yeah.
And it was kind of like, well, if you're going to name it anything, it should be my name. But I don't even think it should be a name. I think we should leave it, or we should call it something.
Well, was it an established brand? Was it something?
It was an established brand.
So why mess with that, right? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
So we got
this
through
is
it.
where the pivot happened, or
The pivot happened when he said, you know what? I don't think this is going to work anymore. I brought in another partner. Your share is now down to 33 and the two of us vote you out. So it's like I got kicked off the island. No pun intended, but I was also living on the island. So I left the island, got a new start, and I went to a pretty dark place. And I was really just getting angry at that industry. And my parents then were selling their restaurant and they did not want me in that industry. They never did. They never told me so much. They hoped I'd figure it out on my own, which I was kind of on the verge of figuring that out. But it was their retirement plan. They owned that property free and clear, and then they had built a beautiful little business. And so I'm looking back now, I can see it, and thank God that it worked out the way it did. Because
they were probably trying to save you from yourself, though, too, because a restaurant business is, as a married couple, they both were devoted and equally gone from home. But if you were to do that as a young single woman, that would be really hard to reconcile being married or being aligned with somebody who wasn't part of the process, because they'd essentially be like, you'd be an absentee partner, right? So but you went out and you were doing that, and you're still that's still very much in your blood. There's no doubt about it.
No,
it really is.
I hit pause for like 6 months. I had some health issues. I had to go get a couple of surgeries that put me like bedridden for a few months, and literally kind of came back to like mid-20s, and I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to do that. I need a fresh start. I need to just change. I also want to clean up my act. Let's just, start over.
Just get healthy and just kind of like get clear-headed and just say, okay, what did I learn from that process? But I see even in like as hectic as a pace and as young as you were going through all that, you really were learning and you were pivoting with the information you were getting all along the way. You really were. It might have seemed like a lot of madness, but you did some strategic stuff. Yeah.
I think immediately after that first restaurant that I tried purchasing didn't work out, I learned so much about the importance of actually having legal documentation, about actually having a real business plan, having discussions with your business partners on, hey, if this happens, then what? I think that kind of helped me with the business savvy, but also just knowing you're going to have those hard conversations, because I was always too scared to like ruffle any feathers and upset anybody. So I just, okay, yeah, sure, I trust you. That sounds good. Okay. And then I would just jump in and I was all about having fun, and I have no regrets. I had so much fun. I did a lot of cool things, but I think the best thing was kind of how it circles back now is I loved making people happy at these parties that I'd plan, or creating some little dish that was so pretty, because to me, food is art. You see it first before you taste it. Of course, it has to taste
Absolutely.
good.
Well, you're all about the aesthetics too. So even the parties you put on, you not only organize the food, you're all about the decoration and creating
all about the party favors.
Yeah, but you create
the
an experience. You create experiences. That's what you truly do.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
it's so funny. And then I know you more on a social basis, and so I see how you do that and you even threw me a party one time, because you were making a fuss so people would get to know me here better, and that was so terrific. But so
great.
with the job you're in today, because I know you're so happy and you continue to pursue education around that. So how does this work out? Like, do you feel like you're missing something? Do you feel like, so because you were lighting up, you were talking about some of the things you were doing at work, and it puts you in connection with families and helping families. And you were just like so bright when you were talking about it. I know.
It's so cool. Just talking about it, like, it makes my heart flutter. And I don't know why. I mean, let's be real. I'm going to a desk job every day, but I adore it. Like, I love it. It's an incredible atmosphere. I love what we do. I love the people that I work with. The culture of the company that I ended up at is truly, like, I couldn't imagine a place that would be better. They take such good care of us that they make work a place I want to go to. And then on top of that, the work that we do, I get to do a lot of work for family office, admin, helping people pay their bills. Or like this year, I've helped, I think, 3 different families purchase cars. It could be anything like that. Or sometimes it's just, I'm having a hard time talking to my son. He's going through the money too fast, because in wealth management, we're dealing with some high net worth, individuals, families. And I realized that the degree that I got in organizational psychology, it's actually very highly received when you're dealing with that side of the wealth management industry. And of course, I'm I don't want to say at a loss, but I came into this kind of at a later age, and I don't know about trust and estate planning. I don't have a banking background. So the company's been investing in me, and I'm slowly chipping away at it. And I know the first year and a half I was at the company, it was something I had to do to keep my job. And I really just was dragging my feet, and I was trying to memorize the questions to pass these tests.
But again, a lot.
And it was a lot. But I had to do it. And then, like I said, after I had that graduation ceremony, and I felt like accomplished. I felt the sense of like, wow, and, you can do hard things,
You can, and you do, and you've been through a lot. And I want to touch briefly on that too. I don't want to throw you a curveball, but we're both of the, women who have been married divorce club. I'm part of that club. You're part of that club. And there are a lot. Yeah. There are a lot of women that are part. Yeah, I know. So I want to touch on it because anybody that's listening to this that doesn't know you probably relate. What is it like when you're going through higher education, the same time you're, in the career full time, which is not even 40 hours. I'm sure it's more than that. And what's going on at home? Rarely do our careers operate in a vacuum. We have personal lives, and those personal lives can be going through some really challenging things, whether it's health related, divorce related, kid related. I mean, there's all sorts of things that create pivots for us women that, we go, wow, how are we going to get through this? What are we going to do? And you're a resilient person. You've just demonstrated that by sharing some of your life history. And, of course, I know you through that process because it was as recent. So share with that a little bit, like what you learned and whatnot. And we don't need gory details, but you're not the only person, you're not the only woman who has had to undergo that process, and what it looks like when you're making a pivot in your life as personal as that, and how we have to get through it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I am. So it's funny. I've never realized this before, but actually I went through my master's program in a year and a half. And between the time that I started and I finished, I got engaged, married, and divorced. So
are we going to blame it on the school?
No, but what I
is there
will
a connection?
Say, no. The school had started before I got back together.
I know. I'm joking.
But what I can tell you that it did not go for granted at any given point that commitment to finishing my degree got me through a lot of those rough times, because I didn't have time to sit there and wallow. It was like, you just got to do it. You just got to do it. And again, the company that I'm at, they were very, very graceful with, hey, if you need a little time off, they were generous with knowing I'm a human being and I'm walking through something tough. And I tried really hard not to bring it to work. And I think I did a pretty good job. There was a couple of odd weeks that, like, I swear I did the weirdest stuff. Like, I think
Tell me.
Oh, like, when you send an email to someone with a password protected document, like I would send it with the attachment and I'd put the password in the same email. Like I just wouldn't even think
Okay,
about
yeah, like a
or I would
disconnect. Yeah.
just like little silly things. And yeah, there's some other weird stuff. I can't think of anything right this second, but like I know
But
that
it's a sign of stress. I mean,
it was
Alex,
a sign of
it's a sign of
stress.
stress, right? And we
Yeah.
all, you know what, you're not a robot. And even though you handled that so beautifully because it was a very short marriage, I mean, things, became clear to you
Yeah.
very, very
And
early.
it was a blessing
you,
it happened so quick. Yeah.
no, yeah, and what's really cool is that, you recognized it and you did something about it because a lot of us are more reluctant and we give it, our best try and it goes way past its expiration date. I mean, way past it, right? So you said this really isn't working. And so you collectively decided and you have a community of friends here and we all just said, okay, we got you.
You guys got me
and I
through
know
it.
like in the beginning you were somewhat like even embarrassed. You were saying, wow, do I look like a failure? I just did this and now I'm undoing it. And it
Yes.
wasn't a flippant decision. No, I mean, I
it
supported
wasn't.
that decision from second one. I was like, yeah, I don't think you're dating within your
Yeah.
league or married within your league because
Thank you.
you are incredibly special and you deserve somebody as special. And I didn't see that
He's out
happening
there.
for you. Yeah,
No,
he
that
is
wasn't.
definitely out there.
I
So
think
what
that
is
goes
what
to
is
the
that looking
confidence.
like for you? I mean, so here you are, you're in this great job. They're totally investing their money and resources and time in you. They see like what you are and all that you're continue to become for them, which is really cool. You just got your master's. You're talking about also getting certified in coaching. I'm doing that because that is complementary to a lot of
Yeah.
careers and definitely the one you're doing as, navigate family relationships. I'd say,
Yeah.
this would be a bonus.
Definitely.
So like, what does this look like for you right now? You're thinking about dating again? I mean, it's been a year. We're at a year, I think.
4th of July. That'll be my real
Okay.
Independence
Oh, well,
Day.
we're going to
That'll
get
be
the
my
fireworks.
1 year.
Okay. I love that at 4th of July.
No, I just wanted to take a year off. I think it's been incredible for me and I have no regrets with that marriage at all because I learned so much about myself. And I also
Yeah.
can look back and I can truly believe that I will make a good wife to the right person. I think that I am a compassionate person. I do care about others, probably to a point where I've been called a people pleaser on a frequent basis. And I think I lost myself because I didn't know who I was. And I feel like through that breakup and through working full time, still doing some charity stuff, finishing school, and taking these couple of classes in trust and estate planning, which
Is that what you're undergoing right now? Or are you taking?
So right now I'm between classes. The license that I'm looking to get is, it's a certification. It's CTFA. So it's a Certified Trust and Estate Advisor. CTFA, Certified Trust and Financial Advisor.
all those acronyms, I know to keep up with it, but
There's there's so many.
So you're just
CFPs.
you continue to do a deeper dive into
I need
what,
to,
yeah.
and the thing is I needed to, but I didn't want to. I did it because I had to, and now I want to, because this is where it all kind of ties together
This is
today.
you know what? Okay. That lesson alone serves us in so many areas of our life, right? I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, well, just act as if you want to go to the gym, okay?" And don't even look for the moment of motivation. Like that will come when it becomes your new rhythm. And so, and so that discipline or that way of living is just so important because it spills over to everything else. And then you just say,
It does.
because you know what this reminds me of, Alex? This reminds me of when we come to terms, and this happens to me all the time. I'm like, I know nothing about myself, really. Like, and I love it because I embrace it that I have a hunger to learn more about me,
Totally.
So that's awesome that that's happening. You do it until you want to, and then you're like, and then, now you're unleashed, okay? You're looking to take every class, everything. You're really, and you know what? And you're able to invest in yourself, because you are, you're living for yourself right now. And
Well, I
that's,
just figured, I was 40 when I figured out what my career path was going to be. So I got to catch up.
listen,
I'm not
sister,
gonna,
don't even talk to me, okay? I mean,
come on, I have a lot of goals now. I never had goals before.
But
I
you
never
should
had
never.
dreams.
I don't even want to talk about the birthdays that are coming up for me in the near future. But the fact is that what you're going to see is that there is nothing that even has to be calendar related. Right now, I've been in the same business for a couple of decades, and I continue to be in that. But now I'm exploring other stuff. I mean, here I am doing a podcast. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're reinventing. That's true.
I have a shower curtain behind me. I'm talking from my bedroom. I don't even know what's going on. But I thought this would be cool to do. do. I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I have like when something makes me like uncomfortable, but I want to do it, I'm all about you walk the walk. You talk this talk. So you have to do it, just pursue it and you'll figure it the heck out. I mean, this show is still evolving. I don't, it's remaining true to its purpose, which is I want to have conversations with other women who inspire. I want to hear inspiring stories. It's not always going to be pretty. We don't get to where we need to be without going through those challenges.
No,
And
it's so
you
true.
have done that with such grace, and you are so important in my life. I mean, you really are like, you're just a bright light, but you are that to a lot of people. Okay. But you haven't had all the bright moments all the time. And none of us really have.
Of course.
Talk to me, like, let's be honest for a second. What does that feel like? Because, that's a hard reputation. I don't know that I want to call it a reputation, but expectation, okay? Where people know Alex R as like the bubbly one, the social one. She's going to put on the party. She's going to put it together because she's all about you give to people. And when I say the party, these are very wholesome parties that we're attending, right? These aren't the crazy
They're
things.
all over the board,
But your attention to detail and you really give everything your all. But how about when you don't? Do you ever feel pressure to be what people expect you to be because you have such a beautiful reputation along those lines? It's hard.
Thank you for all those compliments. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's true.
I can tell you that it's cool sitting here. I'm just like so much joy in my heart. And it's because of the people that I've surrounded myself with. I think you are the company you keep. And my friends are so important to me. And I don't really think of it as an expectation. And I think that naturally my state is just, that bubbly. I like being positive. It comes natural. I love just having fun. I love seeing other people have fun. That's what gives me true joy, right? But what has been so cool is because of the relationships that I've built with women like you, and this has happened between you and I in the past, and some of the other women in my life, I get praise from you guys when I open up and I show my vulnerability and I tell you that I'm hurting, and you make me feel so safe that it's okay. I don't feel like I'm disappointing anyone. You commend me for being honest.
Yeah.
And so I think the biggest thing in the past few years for me, like in kind of changing career paths and everything, has just been that honesty. And it's weird. I don't feel like it's an expectation because it's something I enjoy. And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, people say, well, if you're doing if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
And like, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's work. Come on, let's go. But like, it's true. Cause talking about like with event planning, I think I will always do that on the side. I don't think I'll go back into doing that as a paid thing. I love that I'm in the position that I get to help do a fundraiser this year on the side for a friend that has a cause that I think is a beautiful reason to help raise money so they can go do good work. But I've got my full-time job and I've got my career going on over here. But like that feeds my soul, So when you talk about an expectation of me kind of bringing a party together or whatever it is, that's just
I meant more about being bubbly because you're known, you have a beautiful smile and your dimples and but I love that you're reminding me how special it is that when you get very vulnerable and real that we all, we surround you. And that's and
you do.
I
and that safety allows
that's
me.
a two-way street. That's a two-way street.
Oh, good. I love that because I would do anything for you. And gosh, I believe in everything that you're doing. It's cool. You're talking about inspiring. I mean, I love it. It's you're doing
even
something
at my age, Alex R. Okay, because I'm not 40 anymore.
Okay,
hey,
all right.
You know what's serious? You know what's really no, but you know what's really funny when I look at the timeline of my life. It always seemed like as I was about to enter a new decade, like, okay, so I'm 58, right? I'll be 59 this August. And so 60s next year. So, but when I was like, what was happening to me at like age 19, age 29, age 39, age 49, now, like I'm going to be 59. There's always some like big pivot, but in a big, beautiful way. And it was like always before those birthdays, I worried, like I can remember being as young as 19 and thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be 20. I'm going to be so old, right? And then like 29 into 30, 39 into 40, but I don't even look at that now. I'm like, oh, here it comes. And I'm just excited to see what happens when I start hitting around 69 because really it just gets better as long as I continue to really be truthful and honest and authentic to myself. It starts with myself. I'm not going to negotiate my values anymore. You know what I mean? I'm a hard worker. I don't need to prove that, but I'm not going to, not do things that actually bring me joy and purpose, and
totally.
Elevating other women is a passion of mine. It just is.
No, I think you nailed it with the honesty. I think that opens up a whole world, where if you're being honest, you're not going to be doing something you don't enjoy. because you're being honest with yourself. Like, that doesn't fulfill me. I'm not going to be doing the best job if it's not something that I'm enjoying doing. And so it's just ironic to hear myself say that, because it's like work has always been work. I've never, it's like what you need to do to pay the bills, but I truly enjoy going to work every day. I also enjoy when I have an event planned that I get to do on a weekend that I know I'm looking forward to. But I got to be honest, I mean, that community that we started talking about at the beginning, like it is that fellowship, that community, and that connection that's kind of at the core of all of it. And like with that, you guys keep me honest. You show me how to do it. Like they're part of the reason you're doing this.
There's a great group of people out here. That's why, this is home.
There's a lot of
I have a
incredible
lot
people.
of family on the East Coast and friends, and I can't even consider leaving. And, again, I can't thank you enough because
I
you were,
follow
well, you do follow all your, but you were an impetus. You were you really helped John and I just kind of get in the herd, and meet so many great people. And it really started like us, feeling like this was home. I mean,
right,
because
you're family. You are family,
it's a big deal. And I did, and then of course you travel a lot, because then, oh my gosh, it's so sad when some of our friends actually leave the state of California. But that doesn't stop you, Alex R. You're always on a plane. You're going to Texas to visit Bridget. You're hanging out. No, I know. So when you love to travel and you love to explore, I mean, we're running out of time, but I just want, you know what came into my head? I remember you and Alex, your Siamese twin, that got you the Alex R part, because I couldn't Alex H, Alex R. And you rented a Winnebago or some sort, and you were like going around. I mean, you're crazy, but crazy fun. I couldn't believe you guys did that. How big was that?
It was only 27 feet. It wasn't
only, I can't even drive John's car, his truck. So
we went up to Jackson Hole. We went up. And so that was really cool. So again, with the friendship you feel safe with, you feel, like, hey, what's on your bucket list? So we made a commitment to each other for a couple years. Every quarter, we were going to knock something off of our bucket list.
I love bucket lists. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like doing an RV trip was one of them. And then going horseback riding, and then learning how to ski. And then we did so many cool things together.
It's
that
so
trip
cool.
was awesome. And
I don't know. I've skied and I've horseback ride, but I don't know that I could be in an RV and drive it. I mean, I just can't even believe they allow people to do that. Bucket list. Yeah. So I had loosely committed. I was supposed to go skydiving next month in July with two of my sons. So I have 4 kids, as you know.
What?
2 wanted to go and the other 2 didn't. Now you're talking to a person that was like deathly afraid of heights all her life, right?
Yeah,
I'm down with it, because this is what happens when we're like happy in our lives and we're thriving and we just want more. We kind of push the envelope, but in a fun, playful, purposeful way. And so they were, this was being planned as we speak. And I broke my toe 2 weeks ago. So
I'm literally very happy now knowing that's going to stop you from skydiving.
No, but it's just going to delay it, sister. I'm still doing it. I couldn't convince John to do it. You know what? Just the idea of being that nervous and being in that plane and seeing, like, with my kids, like, I mean, you know what? These are the moments that life is made of. Yeah, but I'm going to have to delay it because the doctor says that the toe's not going to be healed for a couple months. And I'm still not wearing shoes, so I can't get it on my left foot.
Yeah.
But that's for another day. Tell me, let me wrap this up, right? I want to know what's next for you. Okay. So I know the direction you're going professionally. Where's the next place you're going to be traveling, or you want to travel, and what's in your heart? Give us some good ideas.
Oh gosh. Well, I definitely in the next year I've never been to Greece. So I love Europe. I still have that family in Italy from my grandmother's side.
Oh, wow.
They have a couple of restaurants on the island of Capri, and I love going back there at least every 5 years. So this is the year I'm due.
Okay.
But that being that far over there, I kind of want to do a cruise. I've never been like a real cruise person, but I realize I want to go to so many different spots and I don't want to waste the time traveling. So a cruise might be a cool way to explore somewhere I've never gone before. You
know what I think has to happen? I think one of your friends has to get married and it's on a cruise, because you're marrying people too. We didn't even talk. That's what you were doing today. How did we not touch on this? You were so busy today, and I
had my makeup done. And...
No, well, you always look so great. You married our friends today, and you've married other friends, and this is like another thing that you're doing that people don't just regularly do. I mean, it's so amazing
to get to be a part of a day that is so special between two people. Like, I think that's just selfish on my end. I do it for me. Like, I get to be a part of a day that they're going to remember forever. I will say that I've done it for 3 friends now, and the first one, which was for like my soul sister, my best friend ever.
Yeah.
That was that was the most special day of my life. The feelings, I don't know that I'll ever have anything as incredible as getting to see these 2 people that they make each other better people, and like, if you like me seeing you and John if you hadn't been married and like saying, hey, we're going to do this, I would probably then have the same feelings.
Well, we're going to do it for our 10th, so you will get a chance to do it. We're going to do it for our 10th. But so that was Bridget. And then who was the second person that you married? Oh, that was a friend on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we met at, this is too funny. We met at a retreat that was called Pivot. So how's that for Pivot? We randomly met up in San Francisco. That was Sarah, and she's one of the most incredible women. She's my spirit animal. I don't know how, I don't think she sleeps, but
Oh, that's
she
so
got married
cool.
down in Cancun. And so she didn't tell me till I got there, which was kind of,
That you were marrying her? You didn't even know you were the
and that was
officiant
like
until
a
then?
real wedding. That was a legit wedding. Bridget's wedding was 6 of us at Yellowstone National Park,
The
I think,
pictures of that
in
are just
Whitefish.
beyond beautiful.
It
That
was
I've seen them.
incredible.
They're so spectacular. So, and then
Yeah.
the third one was today, right? You married
There was
Shelby.
today, and
Yeah,
their
Shelby
love
and
is, I
Don.
mean,
Yay.
that's the thing, all three, yeah, right? All
Yeah.
three couples are just, it's such a beautiful thing because I love the love that they have. And it's
Yeah.
funny because after my divorce last year, Shelby had just gotten engaged. And I remember she was so hesitant on telling me because she felt bad since I had just gone through this divorce. And like, I'm so grateful that my heart does rest in positivity
It
because
does.
gosh, the idea of love just makes me, I'm realizing how much more genuine it really is. It's not just storybook romance, fairy tale, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. And like getting to see these real relationships show me that it is out there. It 100% exists. And I've gotten to marry 3 couples that have it, you know.
Well,
And
I
so
think
it's a
that,
very
you know,
special
God
thing.
continues to show you evidence of that.
Yeah.
And we're both very spiritual women, and we actually go
Yeah.
to the same church, and we love it. Go
Yes, we
Mariners!
do.
But
Go Mariners.
yeah. So you know, it's so cool you do it. It really differentiates you. I don't have any other friends who are marrying people. You know, and you know, again, you stepped up and into that role because you know somebody recognized how special you are and wanted you to be, you know, pivotal in their ceremony. And so it was Bridget, I think, that brought that to your attention, and now you're actually doing it. So
Yeah, it's
thank
fun.
you so much for coming on today. I'm giving you this last minute notice. You were officiating a wedding, and now we'll both be at the party tomorrow celebrating that. You probably decorated for that. I don't know. There's going to be something about Alex R that's on there.
There's not growing up. I don't even know. There's
I'll
not.
see something that resembles you on there, but that's great. But you know what? You are a woman of connection, courage, resilience, curiosity. I mean, all the good stuff that makes us WTF women, you know, just really rock on. And yeah. All right.
Do it without you.
Right back at you. Right back
Seriously.
at you. Love you, Alex R.
I love you
Thanks.
too. Thanks you. Bye.